my chest. Do it now!
Your wife has been killed.
I want to find and kill the people who murdered my wife.
The story begins with Charlie Haller, a professional coder who works for the CIA, tinkering with a Cessna plane his wife, Sarah, had gifted him.
Are you out here?
Yeah.
As Sarah gets ready to leave for a conference trip to London, she urges Charlie to join her, at least for the first time. But he gently declines, saying he has things to take care of at the office.
You can still come, you know.
I can't. There's something I'm trying to untangle at work.
When Charlie arrives at the CIA office, he's quickly approached by a guy nicknamed The Bear, a seasoned field agent who often relies on Charlie's tech skills.
I would love to get that big brain of yours to decipher.
Today is no different. Jackson needs help fixing a piece of equipment.
I swear, last time, bro, you saved my life.
And Charlie, as usual, steps in as the agency's go-to problem solver.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's great. All right.
While at his desk, Charlie receives a mysterious file from an anonymous source.
If I had to guess, you're a 50-year-old Russian man living in Istanbul with an affinity for Reddit boards and Turkish coffee.
Who goes by the codename Inquilin. Charlie raises an eyebrow because nothing says trustworthy, like a hacker named after a parasite.
Perhaps not. I'm serious. Be careful with this data. It's highly compromising for your agency.
For over 5 years, Charlie has communicated with Inquilin without ever knowing their true identity. Unable to decrypt the file with his regular setup, Charlie moves to the Grey Room, an advanced, high-security tech lab inside the CIA. Once he cracks the encryption, he discovers shocking evidence.
What the hell?
Deputy Director Moore had authorized a drone strike disguised as a suicide bombing.
50 people killed, including French special forces.
Reported as a misdirected airstrike.
Resulting in civilian casualties. Shocked by what he's uncovered,
Chief Moore.
Charlie rushes out of the Grey Room and runs into Carlos,
I may have looked somewhere I shouldn't have.
Our work is decidedly binary.
who immediately warns him to keep anything discovered in that room strictly confidential. Carlos also reminds him that they're not authorized to access the Grey Room in the first place. At night, Charlie doesn't hear from Sarah, so he leaves her a voicemail. The next day at work, he receives shocking news that his wife has been killed in an attack that occurred in London.
An attack at the Christopher Street Hotel.
At first, Charlie refuses to believe it, clinging to the hope that it's some kind of mistake.
No, she's at a conference. We should call her.
But Deputy Director Moore shows him news reports and surveillance footage from the Christopher Street Hotel where the attack happened.
Where a terrifying hostage situation
And Charlie sees undeniable proof of Sarah's death. Overwhelmed with grief, he nearly collapses, and Carlos steps in to drive him home. So the following day, Charlie confronts Deputy Director Moore and Caleb,
Nobody is getting away with this. You have my word.
demanding to know if they've uncovered anything about the people behind Sarah's murder.
Forgive me, sir. I don't believe we've officially met.
But they shut him down, insisting that it's their job to handle the investigation,
Go home, Charlie. You need to take some time.
not his. Sensing that Charlie is driven more by emotion than reason, they urge him to take time off and go home. Later, when Charlie collects Sarah's belongings from the agency, he finds a heartfelt love letter and a puzzle she had planned to give him, both small but deeply personal reminders that leave him in tears. Determined to uncover the truth behind Sarah's death, Charlie launches his own investigation. He identifies 4 individuals responsible for the attack.
Sarah's killer is harder to track.
Mishka Blažić, a Belarusian criminal, Elish, a South African ex-Special Forces operative,
We think it would be good for you to see Dr. Garrison.
Gretchen Frank, a former Armenian intelligence officer,
You already know about Gretchen Frank?
and the ringleader, Horst Schiller, the man who personally killed Sarah. Charlie learns that Sarah was taken hostage during a failed arms deal and murdered during the group's escape. When he brings this intel to Moore and Caleb,
Everything to do with the sovereignty and security of this country.
they dismiss his findings, insisting the agency's focus is on dismantling the broader terror network, not pursuing personal revenge. Seeing that Charlie is emotionally overwhelmed, they urge him to go home and recommend that he speak with a CIA psychiatrist, Dr. Garrison,
What do you want them to do?
I want them to go after Sarah's killers.
both as a gesture of concern and a quiet way to push him out of the investigation. Frustrated and heartbroken, Charlie decides to take justice into his own hands. He uses the classified intel he uncovered in the Grey Room, specifically evidence that Deputy Director Moore ordered unauthorized drone strikes disguised as suicide bombings, leading to civilian deaths. With this info, Charlie confronts Moore and Caleb, threatening to expose the operation to the media unless they give him the tools to pursue Sarah's killers.
You are so far above your pay grade.
Faced with the risk of a major scandal, Moore is forced to comply.
I want to find and kill the people who murdered my wife.
Wants us to kill the people who killed his wife.
Charlie is sent to Camp Peary, the CIA's elite covert training facility,
Order of operations to destroy a hospital in Syria.
known as the Farm, where recruits are molded into field operatives. It's not a place for civilians, and certainly not for someone driven by grief. His training officer, Colonel Robert Henderson, is a hardened instructor who immediately sizes Charlie up and isn't impressed. Charlie is out of place among the younger, stronger trainees. Charlie couldn't hit a target if it insulted his mother,
Guess I just have to get that close.
You might have a 50-50 chance of hitting something.
but he could hack its pacemaker from 50 feet. He struggles particularly with firearms. His hands tremble during shooting drills, and he often misses the mark. It becomes clear that, despite his motivations, taking a life isn't something that comes naturally to him. However, where he lacks precision with a gun, he excels with technical and improvised weaponry. During a training module on explosive devices, Charlie stuns everyone, including Henderson, with his ability to build highly effective IEDs. His background in coding and engineering gives him an edge in constructing intricate trigger systems and timed explosives. Henderson still has doubts, but even he begins to acknowledge that Charlie might have the raw tools to survive in the field, just not in the conventional way. Charlie isn't becoming a killer in the agency's mold. He's crafting his own methods, calculated, creative, and deeply personal.
6 days ago, he sent the files to the printer and skimmed them with a magnetic strip.
Meanwhile, at Langley, Moore and Caleb are scrambling. They initiate an aggressive internal sweep, trying to uncover the leak Charlie claimed he'd planted. Analysts dig through surveillance logs,
Maybe he swallowed it.
Still would have picked it up.
system access reports, and external communications. But after exhausting every lead, they realize the chilling truth that there's nothing. Charlie bluffed. There never was a leak. It was all a mind game, and they fell for it. What they don't realize is that Charlie left behind something far more dangerous. Before heading to Camp Peary,
With this encryption, 4 or 5 hours?
SOS.
Sure?
Yeah.
Not Jensen Clark?
he used a magnetic chip to print untraceable hard copies of Moore's classified files, and under the cover of a tech visit, he discreetly planted a small audio recorder in Moore's office. The device continues to transmit conversations in real time, allowing Charlie to listen in from training. While Moore hunts a ghost, Charlie collects ammunition, not with guns, but with information. Moore begins to suspect Charlie's true intentions, and instructs Henderson to eliminate him. However, it's already too late. Charlie is en route to London
Second most.
with one of his janitor's cards, determined to uncover who killed Sarah. Back at the CIA office, Moore discovers a hidden audio recorder that Charlie planted.
Mr. Heller.
Bugging a CIA officer?
Speaking directly into it, he warns Charlie that deceiving the CIA amounts to treason. From there, Charlie heads to Paris and breaks into Gretchen Frank's apartment after she vacates it, using a lock-picking technique he learned from an online tutorial. While searching the place, he finds a calendar marked with an upcoming clinic appointment, noted with a small scribble beside it, allergy follow-up. He snaps a photo of the details for later. Just then, Gretchen unexpectedly returns. Charlie quickly hides and prepares to ambush her from behind, gun in hand. But when the moment comes, he freezes. He can't pull the trigger. The truth hits hard. He doesn't have what it takes to be a killer. A few days later, Charlie tracks Gretchen Frank to a clinic and disguises himself as a doctor. He lures her into a low-pressure chamber filled with a concentrated pollen mist.
Because you killed my wife. Tell me where he is. Tell me!
Attempting to exploit her apparent respiratory weakness to force a confession. Struggling to breathe, Gretchen refuses to reveal the identity of Horst Schiller, the real murderer of Sarah. When the clinic staff begins knocking on the chamber door, Charlie is forced to release her. In a frantic escape attempt, Gretchen runs outside, only to be struck and killed instantly by a passing van. Charlie quickly grabs her phone from the scene and flees to Marseille. Meanwhile, director Samantha curiously asks Moore if he knows anything about the death, but he denies it. In Marseille, Charlie is cornered by Henderson in a dimly lit bar. With danger closing in, Charlie stays calm and triggers an explosion that distracts everyone and gives him just enough time to escape. He runs through narrow alleyways, dodging pursuit, and eventually finds cover. Desperate for answers, he contacts Inquilin, asking for help and a way to meet. A voicemail soon arrives with instructions. He is to go to a cafe in Istanbul, where she will discreetly hand him a book. Charlie follows the instructions and travels to Istanbul. At the cafe, he scans the crowd, nearly approaching the wrong person. But just before he makes the mistake, a woman suddenly crosses the street and slips him a book, just as the voicemail described. To Charlie's surprise, Inquilin is not what he expected. She is a woman named Davies, a Russian widow of a former KGB officer.
Do some shopping, then meet me there in half an hour. If you're not followed, we'll talk more.
My wife was murdered.
I know about your wife.
Davies quickly implies that the cafe isn't a safe place for them to talk, so she instructs him to drop his backpack and hat into a sack, go do some shopping, and then meet her afterward at a garage. On the way to Davies' place, she explains that her late husband was also a CIA asset and an Inquilin before he died. After his death, she chose to maintain her connection to the CIA.
My husband was a CIA asset, former KGB. He was Inquilin until he died.
I'm sorry.
Just in case she ever needed their help. Upon arriving at Davies' home, she agrees to help Charlie, and they immediately get down to business. She shows him intel on the remaining 3 assassins, and together they begin strategizing how to track them down, one by one. Based on his own investigation, Charlie identifies Horst Schiller as the ringleader.
Can start the conversation.
Schiller seems to be the coordinator, ringleader.
All 3, Schiller, Blazich, and Elish, are known to supply mercenaries for Director Moore's covert black ops missions. Charlie explains that Elish handles weapons procurement, but is highly paranoid and rarely surfaces.
Elish sources the weapons.
To draw him out, Davies offers to pose as a contractor and attempt to lure him into a conversation under the guise of a new deal. Blazich, on the other hand, is their easiest link. He has a weakness for travel.
And this is Mishka Blazich, travels everywhere first class.
Especially with his girlfriend, Alexandra Solovoya. Through tracking Alexandra's movements, they discover she's just traveled to Madrid, predicting that Blazich will likely be there with her. Meanwhile, director Samantha takes Moore out to lunch and subtly asks if he's hiding anything regarding the Black Ops. Moore denies everything.
I need to be across everything. After mandatory retirement, they keep looking the other way.
However, Samantha's team later uncovers footage placing Henderson in Madrid on Moore's orders. Alarmed, she instructs her agency to put Henderson under surveillance. Back at Davies' home, she uses her computer to trace Blazich and confirms that he's staying at the Aguilar Hotel. Blazich has a habit of paying hotel staff to clear the rooftop pool so he can swim alone.
Pays the staff to clear the rooftop for him. He's a night swimmer.
The thickness of the clear glass will be 420 centimeters in total.
Charlie, working with a local source, confirms this. He also learns that the pool is suspended 16 stories above ground, an architectural detail that could prove useful. Unbeknownst to them, Moore and Henderson are also monitoring the remaining assassins. They know Charlie is hunting them and intend to use that fact to draw him out and eliminate him. Later, Charlie makes his way to the hotel. And sure enough, Blazek shows up. Henderson is also there, sent by Moore to track and eliminate Charlie. While observing the area, Charlie spots another man tailing him. Suspicious, he alerts Davies, who runs a quick check and discovers the man is Chris Ray, another CIA agent. Charlie eventually corners Blazek at the rooftop pool, suspended high above the city. He demands information about Schiller, but when Blazek refuses to talk...
This is a remote that controls a device that's been decompressing the air between the sheets of glass beneath you. Tell me where to find Horst Schiller.
This is a joke, I don't get it.
Charlie uses a remote device to crack the pool's glass bottom, and Blazek finally bites the dust. Henderson arrives just in time to confront Charlie, but before he can act, Chris Ray intercepts him. A brutal fight breaks out between them. And although Henderson kills Ray, the chaos gives Charlie the chance to escape. Caleb and his team at the CIA closely monitor Charlie's movements through surveillance. As they observe the live feed, they notice something suspicious. Charlie's lips are subtly moving, suggesting he's speaking to someone. This raises alarm, as he appears to be alone. They quickly zoom in and scan his ear, revealing a concealed earpiece. Running an audio trace on the device, they confirm that Charlie has been secretly communicating with Davies. Furious at this breach, Caleb immediately orders his team to contact their Russian counterparts to track and locate Davies' exact position before things spiral out of control. Later that night, the Russian operatives manage to track down Davies' location. However, before they can catch her off guard, Davies is alerted by the birds she keeps outside, trained to react to movement. Sensing danger, she quickly checks her security camera footage and confirms they've been compromised. Without wasting time, she deletes all sensitive files from her system. She and Charlie then slip out through the back door and make a run for the car. Just as they begin to drive off, they're ambushed. In the chaos, Davies is shot while behind the wheel and dies instantly. Despite the shock and panic, Charlie quickly takes control of the car and manages to escape the attackers. After the death of his CIA partner, Davies, Charlie Heller continues his relentless pursuit of the remaining operatives responsible, shifting his focus to Elish, a South African mercenary and key link to the ringleader, Schiller. Knowing he can't confront Elish head-on, Charlie devises an elaborate deception, posing as an illicit missile dealer to lure him out. He arranges a meeting in Romania and, anticipating violence, prepares an improvised explosive device at the drop site. During their tense encounter, Charlie maintains his cover, drawing Elish in with a convincing performance until he gains the upper hand. When pressed about how to reach Schiller, Elish initially resists.
Where is he? Schiller, where is he?
After what happened to Gretchen and Blazek, he's gone. Horst's gone.
But as the trap tightens and the reality of his situation sets in, he breaks, surrendering his phone and providing Charlie with Schiller's location, a port on the Baltic Sea on the Russian coast, and a unique code.
Supply him with this shit, right? These missiles, correct?
Port on the Baltic, Primorsk. It's there.
Used to make contact with Schiller's organization. With the vital intel secured and Elish's usefulness exhausted, Charlie triggers the explosive, killing Elish instantly, marking another calculated step in his transformation from a CIA cryptographer into a cold and methodical avenger, now one step closer to confronting the mastermind behind it all. Meanwhile, Caleb finds out that they have been chasing Charlie in the wrong direction. After arriving in Russia, Charles wastes no time trying to track down his final target, Schiller. As he digs deeper, he runs into an old contact known as the Bear, a former operative now living off the grid. The Bear is surprised to see Charles and immediately questions what he's doing in Russia. Charles tells him plainly he's there to finish what he started and take out the last man responsible for his wife's death, Schiller. Bear, clearly concerned, warns Charles against taking any further action. He explains that Russia is not like the places Charles has operated before. Things are more dangerous and more tightly controlled.
I want the guy who pulled the trigger. I want them all.
Damn, dude. That's pretty cold-blooded.
But you honored her.
You think she wants you to die here in this country with these people?
And any mistake could cost him his life. He urges Charles to walk away, especially after already taking down 3 of the key players. But Charles is too far gone. For him, this isn't about safety, it's about justice, and he's not backing down. Determined, Charles continues his hunt and eventually traces Schiller's location to a remote Russian city called Primorsk. But before he can make a move, he's ambushed by one of Schiller's men. Charles is captured and brought directly to Schiller, setting the stage for their long-awaited face-to-face confrontation. Apparently, Schiller has been informed about Charlie. Charlie finally comes face-to-face with Schiller.
I came here to face my wife's killer.
All your revenge? Charlie's revenge?
Who immediately asks if someone hired him. But Charlie, composed and unwavering, makes it clear he's working alone. He tells Schiller he knows everything about him, about Moore, and their covert black ops operation. Schiller remains unfazed, and justifies Sarah's murder as a necessary move to avoid getting caught by the authorities. To Charlie, that logic is absurd, but Schiller doubles down, arguing that Charlie is no different, since he's already killed 3 people, whether for revenge or so-called necessity.
Piece of yourself you cannot get back ever.
Schiller, convinced that Charlie doesn't have the guts to kill in cold blood, tosses him a loaded gun and invites him to take his shot. But Charlie, unable or unwilling to go through with it, refuses to pull the trigger. Instead of killing Schiller,
You're here to kill me, take it, you see.
But he also said I'd never be able to kill.
Charlie calmly reveals that he has already taken full control of Schiller's ship, and they've just arrived in Finnish waters.
To make you feel what she felt in that moment before you killed her.
As Schiller panics and tries to come up with a solution, Charlie tells him it's too late. The ship is locked in a vault. He explains that the CIA insisted on using his encryption system, all of which he ran from his hotel room. Although Schiller's men may have smashed his phone, the fact that they kept theirs gave Charlie full access, making him the transmitter, played along, and got himself on board the ship, just to buy time until the Finnish Navy.
I've taken control of your boat. You've just reached Finnish waters. It's all running from my hotel room. These 2 may have smashed my phone.
And Interpol arrived. Just as he planned, the Finnish Navy and Interpol arrive in time to arrest Schiller and his henchmen.
Charlie Heller.
Moore and Caleb's involvement in the illegal black ops is also exposed to the public, leading to their arrest and pending prosecution.
Was the CIA involved in those operations?
You would not expect me to answer that. And those individuals will face the full force of the law. That implicates senior members of this agency in carrying out rogue missions.
With his revenge complete, Henderson seeks out Charlie and praises him for his courage and brilliance. Charlie humbly replies that everything he did, he learned from Henderson, but Henderson counters that not everything Charlie accomplished can be taught. At last, Charlie completes the plane his wife gave him, adding the final touches. With everything finally in place, he climbs aboard, takes off, and flies into the sky, fulfilled and at peace. Thank you for sticking to the end of my video. Please do me the biggest favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.